One of the things I've noticed that we tend to do as dowsers is we dowse very much, when we're working with earth energy, we dowse very much to the human scale. So by that I mean look at the ancient monuments that we've built, maybe sacred sites like Stonehenge or Avery, and or any of these sacred sites, because they're built by, ancient man. They're quite big, but they're only built to a certain scale, and we tend to douse things in the same way. So what do I mean by that? So if we look at things like a standing stone, most of them, are over certain energy features, and they are there because certain energy features rise out of the ground, and that stone anchors it back down because it's a scale that's sort of meaningful to us. And what we do, we can get these what they call cone vortices. So it's like an upside down ice cream cone, and a cone vortice will come up at these points. But sometimes sacred sites are sort of in the middle of a much bigger feature. So I've been to sacred sites that no discernible, hardly any energy lays there. It's just like a group of stones. It looks fairly meaningless. I've observed it over time, and there's no like vortice on a sort of human scale, I suppose, is what I'm saying. But what I've noticed is that certain planetary shifts or motions activate these sound lines that are in the ground. So it's like a suborbital noise. It's a noise that we can't hear in our human spectrum, but we can feel it as a vibration. And what happens is this noise has a certain pitch, and then these cone vortices erupt, but these ones can be huge. So they can be like half a mile across at the base, three-quarters of a mile. So we tend not to dowse for things that big because they're just so big. It's like we're not looking for a line that's 15 feet or 20 feet across. We're looking for a base of something that is absolutely huge. So that's what, so we may find a sacred site that's within the circumference of one of those larger features. And when we activate it with sounds that may be drumming or chanting or hitting the rocks, we're trying to replicate the frequency almost that's under the ground that creates it. And by creating this noise, we can activate this large scale feature. But that's what I would say. You can dowse for like things within sacred sites that are like what's going through this site. But I would always say probably scale that up to 5 times as big and see what larger features that these sacred sites are actually within, that we're just not used to looking at that large scale. We're used to looking at things on a human scale. So try that as well. Try dowsing. What you may have to do that on a map. And this is partly what map dowsing is for, because that's where we can very easily, using map dowsing, find these much bigger features that they're so big we sort of can't comprehend them on the land when we're actually in the landscape dowsing. So there's a little tip for you. Think also about not just scale up. The universe is holographic. There's something that we're dowsing here, but that can be on a much bigger scale. And what that site is doing is sort of giving you a glimpse of what's in the landscape, but actually on a much bigger scale than we're used to looking for.